Let's examine the role of courage and trust in human life. Even the most hardcore skeptic and the most rational and detached human being relies on them all the time. How so? Because we cannot achieve full awareness about everything in existence. We cannot fully comprehend, be fully aware, and fully know all the mechanics of life, nature, universe. We cannot detect all the slender threads, all the gentle whirlwinds that are in place, working on so many levels, in smaller cycles and in longer cycles, until they result in a momentary tornado which we can then notice. We simply cannot see the full picture, and that is fine. It is actually a blessing when you start to think about it. Could we handle it all? I doubt it. In fact, I know we could not. Let's put things into perspective, shall we? Let's say we can see and comprehend 3% of everything that happens right now in the entirety of existence. Even that would be a mind-boggling amount, and I'm not saying this is anywhere near the correct number. I just threw it off the top of my head. So all of that we can see and be conscious about is just a small piece of the full picture. It is like a small bubble inside a bigger bubble, as is illustrated in the simple image below. The maximum we can do is position our bubble to the center of the big bubble. Then our bubble represents the big bubble accurately, as it is proportionate to the whole, just like a fractal. Then the reality we can perceive is similar to the ultimate reality, only smaller in scale and reach, just like the similarity of two shapes in geometry. Then our bubble stays true to the big picture, is balanced and well-rounded, just like a miniature version of the big bubble, without over or under-emphasizing any aspect. Think about what it means, dear friend, and think it like you do, not like I do. Whether we realize it or not, we are constantly trusting and relying on things that are completely out of our control. And it is much worse than that actually. Just by living, we are constantly relying on things and workings of the universe that are outside of even our perception, let alone control. The idea that everything that exists and everything that happens is just in my mind. Well, no it isn't. Yes, everything that you see, experience, realize, dream, and are conscious about makes mental images for you. But that doesn't mean all the things that are currently happening in the world are included in it. Of course they are not. Otherwise our heads would explode, so to speak. By living, mostly, we just simply trust the world and face it with courage, whether we realize it or not. Majority of the world is outside of our control and perception. In some shape or form, an anvil can fall to my head at any given moment. If I try to strategize and analyze every single scenario of my life, try to protect myself from every single possible scenario, so from life and all situations basically, I would quickly find how impossible it is. So we can see how important an integral part of human life courage really is, and how significant part of our lives trust really is. Trust and courage to face the unknowable every single day, while knowing and accepting that it has to be so. This is not to say we can't increase our awareness and consciousness, i.e. to make our bubble bigger. This is just to point out the simple fact that it cannot ever fully match the bigger bubble that encompasses all that happens and exists. While we seek the ultimate answers, it is good to recognize that on the other hand, no matter how far we advance, we are still constantly just simply facing the world with more or less blind courage. Fearlessness is better than a faint heart for any man who puts his nose out of doors. The length of my life and the day of my death were fated long ago, says Skirnir, the Bright One, in Norse mythology. Cheers all you lovely humans and all the best. Foteini Aletheia.